less quadruple, in which case Western sanctions won't work. They might actually benefit the Iranians because it would lessen the amount that they need to import if diversity passes. I think it's quite clear that the regime is also engaged in a pretty dangerous course, because you remember that the last time, 2 years ago, they tried to raise the price of gas only 25%. The Iranian people loved that so much they went out and burned down 19 gas stations and forced the regime to give up that radical thought. But so I think they're going to play hard-nosed. We hope not. That's where they seem to be going. That leaves the West with basically four options. One is to do nothing. That has been suggested by some people. Okay, people like Posen and MIT say, we shouldn't do anything. They're going to get nuclear weapons anyway. We just have to work to live with them. And we can because pressure works. Okay? That would presuppose that Iranian fundamentalists are basically the same class as Russian communists, which is, I find, a somewhat dubious proposition. In 1987, we had a week I spent a week in Telluride with a group of Americans, meeting with a committee of members of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. And the one thing we walked away from that was, God, thank God, these people are really sane, they're rational, except for one. There was one Stalinist who pledged allegiance to Gorbachev every morning. But outside of that, the rest of them were total, I mean, they'd been nominated for Nobel Prizes. I mean, you could just see, these were good people. So I think the options are, one, we don't do anything. Number two, we're the most likely now is we're going to pursue a fourth round of sanctions, which, will probably be something that won't exactly bring in need. Thirdly, we ultimately look in the West to more severe sanctions. One of the things talked about in Washington that I heard recently really surprised me, but it said, okay, if it comes down to it, and the choice is military attack versus let's get serious with the fifth round of sanctions, why don't we just blockade Iranian ports? We can not stop Nabucco, but we can stop most of what they have. And we don't have to do anything because the moment we declare a blockade off the coast, an international blockade for oil exports, the bottom line is simple: Lloyd's of London will stop providing any insurance because it's a war zone. And the amazing thing about this possibility was, I never thought about it, in Louisiana we have over 720 million barrels of oil. The Economist says there's 5 billion barrels of oil, plus the Saudis, as you know, are now waiting to Gulf of China. It's now floated up to the surface that the Saudis are talking that we will make up whatever the Iranians ship to you right now, because they're very worried. They don't have any military capability. So that would be the third. And then, of course, there's the military option, which comes in several different flavors. Whether it's an Israeli option, it's an Israeli option in which the Americans participate, or more likely the Israeli option in which the Americans don't participate, but once the attack comes on, then it's in the American interest to follow on or to participate in some version, because they're going to get all the reaction anyway. Might as well do that. From a military point of view, there's no question, okay, just a cold-blooded military point of view, there's no question the Americans can do it in about, most people feel, in 2 days. And the main reason is that the United States has, we're talking an air war. Now we're talking security analysts, okay? We're not talking any way. But if you look at it, the United States has tremendous capabilities that are not being used at all, or can't be used in Afghanistan or Iraq. It has B-2 bombers, which can come in from Diego Garcia. It has all the bunker buster bombs. In fact, the monster one, which you may have read about, that's 30,000 pounds, I mean, 15 tons that can penetrate quite deep. It has 3 aircraft carrier battle fleets, which you can put out into the Persian Gulf and fly about 200 kilometers off the deck under Iranian radar. It's got F-22, F-17Bs to block their radar sites. It's got close air support from Afghanistan, from Iraq, and the region. For the Israelis, it's obviously a much more difficult game because they don't have any of that. They just don't have that. Plus, they don't have the elaborate satellite network. Israel has a small satellite network. The Americans have a very large satellite network focusing on what's going on. However, and for Israel's 2,000-mile round trip, they only have a few 707 refueling airplane. They would have to attack a limited number of targets. But then it gets very dicey. Nobody knows more. Because we saw with Syria in 2007, Israel did things that were not predicted.